So there are a couple ways that I like to make veggie broth. I'm going to start out with my favorite way, which is actually just repurposing my vegetable peels. So anytime throughout the week while I'm making vegetables for dinner and I'm peeling a carrot, chopping an onion, chopping a celery, what I'll do is I actually just keep a little compost bowl near me while I'm making dinner, and I save all of the peels for my carrots, for my potatoes, the bulbs from celery, the bulbs from onions, basically any piece of the vegetable that you would normally throw away. I save those, and what I do is I like to keep a little bag in my refrigerator, and just throughout the week I add to my just kind of like compost bag, and that eventually becomes the scraps that I use for my vegetable broth. So this is just the easiest way, and I think it's also really resourceful to get all of the benefits and the use out of your vegetables. So I'll just store that bag in my refrigerator until I'm ready to make broth. The second way is the obvious way, just by using whole vegetables. So you can use any type of vegetable that you want, any vegetable you have on hand. I really like to use a lot of onion, so often I'll use more onion than, let's just say like carrot or celery. I just like the flavor that it brings to the broth. But really, I just use whatever I have in my refrigerator. You can use as little or as much as you want. Here, I just used about 3 carrots, a couple stalks of celery. I also had some sugar snap peas that were going bad. They were expiring in a couple of days. So if you have some vegetables that are expiring and you just want to get some use out of them, you're not planning on using them for dinner, throwing them into your broth mix is a really good option. So I think broths are just a great way to be resourceful. After you've chopped your vegetables or you have a full compost or peel bag ready to go, fill a pot of water about halfway full, and then you're going to add in either your peels or your whole vegetables. I like to season my broth mixture. I'll list all of the seasonings in the info box that I use. A lot of people like low sodium or sodium-free broth, so this is an optional step. Now it's time to boil your broth mixture. I like to boil mine for about an hour, 30 minutes on medium-high heat, and then the final 30 minutes on low heat to where it's just kind of simmering and all of the flavors are coming out of the vegetables. You can actually boil for longer. Just make sure you keep adding water so you obviously don't lose your liquid. After you have boiled your vegetables and the time is up, go ahead and just let that rest for about 20 minutes and steep, and then you'll get a nice bold flavor in your broth. After your broth has cooled for a little bit, you can either use it in a recipe or you can do what I do. I like to buy these little containers from the Dollar Tree, and I actually store them in the freezer. If you store them in the refrigerator, they're only going to be good for about 1 to 2 days. But what I like to do is just freeze them, and then when I am ready for them for a recipe, I take them out about 4 hours in advance and let them defrost. And that is how you get homemade veggie broth.